I can't hear anything.
Hey, Jeff, we can't hear you.
Now you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you now.
Yes.
All right. Well, you've been reading through, I wrote a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It's available on Amazon, or I have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. We love to see everybody's smiling face. Please turn on your video if you're out there, and make sure your full name is on the participant list. That way, if somebody's trying to reach out to you, they'll be able to do so. Our agenda today, we'll start out with success stories. We'll go to job leads. We'll do our 30-second introductions. We'll let those people in the room give their introduction first, and we'll do everybody online. Then we'll hear from the Interview Success Workshop, the practice interview team, and the career tip of the week, and our main event right around the top of the hour. Well, we like to start out with success stories. Do we have any landings to announce? Landings. All right. We will move on. Yeah, I probably did mute that one. F1. All right, what we'd like to do for everybody who's online right now, open up the chat box and put in your name, position you're looking for, your email address, your LinkedIn address, phone, what city you're watching us from. Give us 2 or 3 target companies, and then companies where you have connections. I'll put 30 seconds on the clock.
Can't hear the music.
And if you're typing, continue to type away. That'll be fine. What we want to do now is everybody that is here in the room, if you'll stand up, grab the microphone, and we'll have everybody do their introductions here. So come on down.
All right. Hey, good morning. My name is Miguel Castillo. I'm looking for a VP or a Senior Director of Finance in the FP&A space, so financial planning and analysis. Need contacts at Caterpillar and Honeywell. I have contacts at United Airlines, American Airlines, and Amazon. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Garber. I'm looking for a position as a IT program manager. I need contacts at Ericsson and Toyota, which are my target companies this week. I have contacts at Kyndryl. My name is Michael Garber.
Good morning. My name is Tim Farrell, electrical design verification engineer. Target companies, General Dynamics or any other defense contractor. And I also made applications this week at Cadence Design Systems and SpaceX. And I have contacts at Raytheon. I worked there for 5 years. And once again, my name is Tim Farrell.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks. Good morning. My name is Sarah Taylor, and I am a financial loan analyst. Target companies are Truett Bank and SoFi. And my name is Sarah Taylor Hoyle.
Hello, I'm Paul Husar. That's Husar. Segway is looking for me. They're looking very hard. They reposted a position that matches me. Please help them find me if you know someone. I'm a director of technical support or director of customer service. I have contacts at LG. I'm Paul Husar.
Thank
I know
you.
the recruiter.
Good morning. My name is John Steinman. I'm currently looking for an application analyst role installing software. I'm looking for contact at Fiserv and FIS. I have contacts with Jack Henry, my former employer. My name is John Steinman.
Thank you, John.
Good morning. My name is David Turner. I'm a HR Information Systems Analyst. I need contacts at Collinson, and I have contacts at PepsiCo. My name is David Turner.
Thank you, David.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny Holcomb. I'm a dynamic sales and marketing director. I am looking for contacts at Freeman Central and Freeman Events and Ring Central. And I am connected with Duke Cannon, Toiletries, and other manscaping item companies. My name is Jenny Holcomb. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Hello, is it on? Okay. Hello, my name is Daniel Reisinger. I'm looking for jobs in welding fabrication, and I need contacts at fabrication or welding shops in the Northeast DFW area.
Hi, I'm David Coward, and I am looking for a senior client account director role. I'm looking at Gardner and Intuit, Franklin Covey, and let's see, Korn Ferry. And I've got contacts at IBM, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Manpower Group. Again, my name is David Coward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Happy Friday. My name is Jason Irish. I'm a financial services professional working my way through licensing to become a financial advisor. I currently have contacts at Thrivent Financial, where I'm working through those processes, as well as several other financial services companies. Look at my LinkedIn. And I also have opportunities for anybody looking for a side hustle with a couple of different limo companies here. My name is Jason Irish.
Hi, my name's Chris Paulson. I'm looking for a senior software engineer role. I need a contact at Liberty Mutual, specifically C#, Microsoft Stack. I have contacts at Toyota. Again, my name is Chris Paulson. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Hilbert Taylor. I'm a principal AI QA test automation. I build automated intelligent software platform. I break software before the customer cache it. I'm looking for a contact at First United Bank here at Plano and at Verizon. My name is Hilbert Taylor Zia.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Martha Montgomery, and I'm looking for senior manager for customer success and customer engagement. And I need some contacts right now for Salesforce and Kayla, CALA Health. I have contacts at Hologic. And again, my name is Martha Montgomery.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Phil Elsner, E-L-S-N-E-R. I am a PMP credentialed senior project manager, multiple degrees in biomedical sciences, most of my work in IT, mostly the financial and the telecom side. I'm Phil Elsner.
Anybody else? All right,
Going once?
Let's go online and see who we have online. Steve Rohan.
Hi, my name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I'm got contacts at Fiserv and GM Financial. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you. Mike Betts. Mike.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a director of products focused on data analytics solutions. I'm seeking contacts at Keurig Dr. Pepper, as well as Safeway Albertsons. So I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. My name is Mike Belzil.
Christy.
Good morning. I'm Christy Grant Coleman. I am a senior learning and development leader, looking for a position in that area in the learning and development space. I need a contact at Richemont. Don't have any to offer right now, but again, my name is Christy Grant Coleman.
Thank you. Let's see here. Casey Cockrell.
Hi, I'm Casey Cockrell. I'm looking for a VP of operations role in manufacturing, preferably. I have a lot of experience with ISO 9001 and AS 9201. But I am looking for contacts at Addison Group, Holman, and Collins Aerospace. My name is Casey Cockrell.
Thank you. Kevin Nelson.
Hi, my name's Kevin Nelson. I'm an industrial engineer looking for a position in manufacturing operations. I have expertise in planning, scheduling, and purchasing, and my name is Kevin Nelson.
Thank you. Don Jones.
Sorry, searching to unmute there. Good morning. I am Dawn Jones. I'm looking for positions in quality management or risk and opportunity management. I lead with integrity, turning complex challenges into clear, cost-effective solutions driven by data, relationships, and results. I need contacts at Abbott, Amazon, and McKesson. I have contacts at Raytheon. Again, I am Dawn Jones.
Thank you. Barry Baldwin. Barry. All right, let's go on to Dahara.
Hi everyone, my name is Da Patel. I am looking for roles in product management or project coordinator, application support, business analyst. I need contacts at Citibank, Fidelity, JPMC, or Liberty Mutual in Plano. I have contacts at MedDecision in Dallas. And again, my name is Da Patel.
Thank you. Joe Ham.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Hom, and I'm looking for senior finance roles in consumer packaged goods such as Coca-Cola, Cisco, McKesson, and so forth. And I have contacts at Honeywell, Becton Dickinson, and I formerly used to work at PepsiCo, which has manufacturing location in Arlington. So thanks. I put my stuff in the meeting chat. So please connect with me on LinkedIn.
Thank you. Joshua Young. Oh, Joshua, you're listening only. Okay. Kathleen Dixon. Kathleen. All right, go on to Kevin Nelson.
You've already got me.
I'm sorry. Let's see here. Christy Grant. Oh, we did Christy already. I think we did Mike already. Matooth. Matooth. All right. Go on to Randall Christopher.
Good morning. My name is Randall Christopher, and I'm looking for a logistics process improvement position. I need contacts at Honeywell and Ericsson, and I have contacts at Samsung Electronics America. Again, my name is Randall Christopher.
Zena. All right, Scott Alexander.
Good morning. My name is Scott Alexander. I'm looking for software management, software development management, product manager, product owner, and/or project management positions. I've done it all. I have limited contacts at AT&T, which is where my career has been at mostly. And I don't have any target companies this week, but my name is Scott Alexander.
All right, thank you. Melissa.
Good morning. My name is Valisa Madden. I am looking for director, senior manager roles in audit, risk and controls, business process improvement. I put a list of the companies I'm interested in, but USAA, Citi, SMU, just banking, higher education, or healthcare. And I have contacts at AT&T, Grant Thornton, and there was another one on my list. And somebody asked for Fidelity. I have a contact at Fidelity. So my name is Valisa Madden.
Great. Matooth. Oh, you just muted your mic. You were unmuted and now you're muted again. All right, did we miss anybody online?
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, Michael, go ahead.
Hello, I am Michael Wilk from Allen. I'm looking for a senior quality engineer, quality lead, or quality manager position. My target companies include SNC, Collins, Boeing, and Encore Wire. I know people at L3 Harris and Raytheon. Michael Wilk. Thank you.
Thank you. Rose.
And sorry, Jeff, I must have missed my name earlier. I apologize. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your career tip of the week host. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition partner or a senior recruiter position. I need contacts at the following target companies: Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, Delta Dental, Unum Dental, MetLife, ADP, USAA, and TIAA. Again, let's see. I have contacts at a variety of different companies, so as I hear them, I'll reach out to you directly. And again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Partner or Senior Recruiter position. Thanks so much.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jeffrey Martinez. I'm looking for positions in software engineering or software development. I need contacts at Texas Instruments and Toyota. And again, my name is Jeffrey Martinez.
Right. Anybody else we miss?
Hi, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bennett.
Anybody else?
So, okay, here I am myself. My name is Muthu Kumar Ganesan. I'm looking for the job in IT infrastructure, cloud, data center, and IT service delivery management roles like senior manager and director, associate director roles in and around DFW or across US. Target companies are mostly managed service providers and any banking sector or anything. I don't have any specific. My name is Muthu. Thank you.
Great. Don?
Yes, I'm Don Champlin. I'm a IT transformation consulting advisor. I work with business and IT to bridge gaps and build successes, putting IT and business on the same page to align, optimize, and compete in a globally connected marketplace. I'm Don Champlin.
Thank you, Don. All right, I think we've gotten everybody. Who'd we miss?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Bennett Daniel. I'm looking for mechanical engineering or entry-level mechanical engineering or robotics, simulation, vehicle dynamics engineer roles. And I need contacts at the automotive OEMs like Ford, Toyota, Chevy, or even robotics companies like Torque Robotics, Kodiak, Aurora, um, yeah, any company that does self-driving vehicles like Tesla even would be great. And again, my name is Bennett Daniel.
Thank you. All right, now I think we've gotten everybody. I don't see any recruiters online, so we'll pass the job leads up. Let's hear from the Interview Success Workshop in Walt Glass.
Good morning online. Good morning in person. It's great to have everyone participate today. So my name is Walt Glass, and I love to help people be successful and confident in their interviews. And so I do a very different thing about interviews. I do fundamentals of selling ourselves. We all know that we're selling ourselves. So how do we do that? And what do we sell? And so when I really messed up an interview many years ago, a person asked me, well, Walter, what can you do for me? I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. I was just going to tell you, here's my resume and hope, throw it on the wall and see if that sticks. Well, that's not the way to do it, right? So I came up with a model. So we're hiring characteristics, soft skills, personality. We're hiring experience, expertise, knowledge, and we're hiring value. So I'll put that down into I am, I do, and I help. So that's what the workshop is about. I'm going to shorten my speech because you can look up all the details on my About section on LinkedIn. It tells you how to register. I do it on Zoom on Tuesdays, 9 to 12. I got a wait list going right now, but be glad to have you participate. Well, looking for work? Give practicing a nod. Don't be a bump on a log. Gather up some brass. Listen to glass. It's the way we will get the job. I am Walt Glass.
Thank you. All right. Let me just talk about the practice interview team real quick. The practice interview team meets every Wednesday right here in this room at 1 o'clock from 1 to 3. This is a great way to practice your interviewing skills. Don't wait until you have a real interview. Practice now, practice often, as they like to say. You can practice multiple times because you will learn something every time you do it. You're also welcome to come join and just watch other people being interviewed. I know over the years I've watched people being interviewed, and you learn things. You see something they say, and oh, I got to write that down. I love the way they said that. So you're welcome to just to come and watch other people being interviewed. They do usually 3 interviews every Wednesday. The first, second, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month, they are meeting in person only. The fourth Wednesday of the month, they will be online for anybody who's outside the DFW area. So for more information, just go to dallaspitcrew.com. All right, time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Morning, sir. All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Yay! So excited. All right. Well, this week's tip of the week. Let's see. The title is Managing Mindset in the Job Search. And this particular article is a curated article. It's a career conversation between the founder of the Briefcase Coach, who is Sarah Johnston, and another executive, Sarah Henning. And so it's quite a lengthy article. So what I've highlighted in the slides are just the highlights of some bullet points in the from the article. And so I'm just going to touch on a couple of things and then we'll get this thing moving. So again, the title is Managing Mindset in the Job Search. So in a conversation between Sarah Johnston, founder of the Briefcase Coach, and Sarah Henning, the founder of Shiftive, a crucial role of mindset management in navigating a successful executive job search, is explored. Now, Henning, who specializes in helping professionals move from stress to success, emphasizes that a job search, particularly at the executive level, is not just a logical process, but also a deeply emotional one that significantly impacts one's mental state. Henning highlights that any career transition, whether chosen or unexpected, disrupts one's footing and introduces a barrage of new information and decisions. This interplay can overwhelm the brain and body, making the control and management of mindset essential for a consistent and effective job search strategy. For executives, this is even more critical as their professional identity is often deeply intertwined with their personal identity. Now, when this is disrupted, negative internal scripts can emerge, underscoring the importance of a strong mental fitness to present the best version of oneself in all job search related interactions. The conversation addresses the particularly challenging situation of unexpected job loss, and Henning emphasizes with those facing such disruptions, noting that it can trigger a negative self-talk loop while individuals grapple with a sudden change in their professional identity and future. While acknowledging that it is just work, she underscores its significance in providing security, accomplishment, and a sense of pride. Unexpected job loss can send one's mindset into a spiral, dominating by an overactive inner judge whose negative pronouncements can sabotage decision making and hinder progress. So to combat this, Henning recommends two key approaches. First, individuals need to develop awareness of their negative self-talk and utilize tools and resources to interrupt these patterns. Second, building a strong community of supportive voices is crucial. Mentors and people who genuinely care can provide positive reinforcement and help rewrite the negative scripts running through one's mind. Now, when faced with rumination and negative thoughts, particularly during sleepless nights, Henning introduces the framework of positive intelligence. The initial step involves simply catching the negative self-talk and labeling it. And following this, it is important to celebrate an act of catching it, and as this reinforcing the new habit and rebuilding neuroplasticity. And then the third step is to refrain the thought with curiosity, asking what else could be true. She emphasizes that these are daily practices, mental repetition, that strengthen the brain's ability to remain grounded and calm, ultimately improving sleep and clarity. And Henning advises against getting stuck in a big picture worry. Instead, when spiraling, individuals should acknowledge their feelings, but question their truthfulness. The focus should be then shifted to identify the immediate next step to address the problem at hand, fostering action and momentum. Now, the conversation is going to shift in this document to the importance of community and the job search. So Johnston, a strong advocate for viewing job searching as a team sport, notes that executives often struggle with vulnerability and seeking help. So Henning addresses that, reframing that concept of asking for help as an act of seeking curiosity and exploration. Instead of directly asking for help, she suggests approaching connections with a desire to share thoughts, ask questions, gather feedback and resources. This approach not only eases the mindset of the job seeker, but also puts others at ease, fostering a collaborative brainstorming environment. Henning emphasizes that the spirit of curiosity can also lead to a more thoughtful and intentional career exploration, prompting individuals to consider possibilities they may not have previously entertained, and viewing career disruptions as opportunities for information gathering, and that can reveal new paths and possibilities. To help executives identify their helpers, Henning suggests or uses a baseball phanology, and she categorizes potential supporters into coaches, who are experienced individuals offering guidance, teammates, who are your past and present colleagues, and they're providing insights into one's strengths, and fans. They're your cheerleaders, offering consistent encouragement. She advises being selective with the fans, seeking out seasonal ticket holders who can consistently show up and offer positive energy. And beyond this analogy, Henning recommends networking with recruiters, even those outside of one's immediate industry. And recruiters can offer valuable perspectives on the hiring process, provide tips, and facilitate practice. So she also highlights the benefit of joining job search communities, both local and virtual, for peer support, shared experiences, and new ideas. And finally, the conversation will tackle the challenge of balancing thoroughness with the need for action, often leading to analysis paralysis. Henning suggests adopting the mindset that 80% is an A when it comes to a strategic plan. And the goal is to have a thoughtful plan with targeted actions, but perfection should not be the aim, as it could hinder your progress. So, drawing on James Clear's work in the book Atomic Habits, Henning emphasizes the power of breaking down goals into small possible steps to initiate action. And by focusing on the by focusing on the immediately achievable, individuals can overcome the inertia of feeling overwhelmed. She reiterates the importance of catching the inner judge and asking what else is possible, then identifying the smallest next step to create momentum toward one's goals. So in conclusion, Henning's her insights encourage job seekers to cultivate a growth mindset, view setbacks as learning opportunities, and resilience and adaptability are key in shifting from seeing failures as roadblocks to stepping stones, and that's essential for moving forward. So I encourage you to read the entire conversation between these two executives. But again, the focus is on managing your mindset in the job search process. Enjoy the article and have a fantastic Mother's Day weekend, everybody.
Thank you very much. I know the text was very small to read, especially for those in the room, but like I said, you will get a copy of this and you can glance back over it. It's really good reading. All right, today for lunch, come join us at 11:45. We're going to go to Mama's Pizza, 2130 West Perker Road. I'm going for the hot cinnamon rolls, but y'all can come for pizza or the salad bar as they offer those also. So come join us today at 11:45 at Mama's Pizza. It's on Parker, just a half block west of Custer. If you want to receive today's materials, please make sure for those on Zoom that you've got your information in the chat window so I can connect with you and get you added. For anybody who's new, I'll get you added to the roster. You will get a link to the YouTube video from today. You'll get a copy of the career tip of the week information, copy of the Zoom chat window. I'll include that for everybody. For everybody here who's in person, as long as you've either checked your name off on the roster so I know you're here, or you filled out a slip if you're brand new, as long as I can read it, you'll get an email this afternoon. All right, for these people, these are my missing people. They do not have email addresses. If any of you are on the line, please put your information, contact information in so I can update the roster this weekend. All right, it's time for our main event. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just enter your questions into the Zoom chat window. I'll ask the speaker as he takes a break from his comments. Please turn on your video so we can see you. We'd love to do that. So today our speaker is Jay Arbetter. I've known Jay for many years. He's written a book, and I didn't put a copy of the book up here, but yeah, I forgot to do that. Jay is a financial advisor. He's a senior vice president in wealth management at UBS. He knows, he's got a very interesting story, and you want to use that mic, or do you want this mic?
This one's fine.
Oh, it's fine, okay.
Put it right here.
Yep. And
Is it on?
turn over to Jay. So
It's on? Okay. Somebody talked about a financial advisor role in earlier. Who was that? What do you want me to do? Have you done this in the past, or is this something new, a new career for you? Okay. I'd love to talk to you when we get done. All right, so my name is Jay Arbetter, and as he said, I'm a financial advisor with UBS. I've been doing it almost 40 years now, which is a long time, and I've loved it. And you guys have to go back in time to kind of get an idea of what it's been like to build a career as a financial advisor. When I started in 1986, there were no computers. There were no cell phones. There was no caller ID, right? And so when we started, the only way you could build a business, they told me, was to take this list of 3,000 people and cold call 100 a day. If you make 100 phone calls a day, they told me, 98 will hang up on you. Two, and of course they don't know who's calling, so they pick up the phone and then they hang up, right? So 98 will hang up on you, and two of them will talk to you. And when you talk to 10 people, one of them will agree to meet with you. So it's 1,000 phone calls to get one meeting. And that meeting, you need 10 of those to get a $2,000 IRA for someone to start with you. So the ability to become successful as a financial advisor in 1986 was dependent upon how incredibly intensively persistent you are and how non-afraid you are of being rejected 99% of the time. So the attrition rate or success rate of being a financial advisor was extremely low to begin with. And I will tell you that I was probably the worst cold caller that anybody ever had, because I got constant feedback from my peers as to how bad I was and I should give up. All right. 40 years later, I'm part of a team of 16 people at UBS. I have 7 financial advisors as partners, 8 full-time support staff. We manage $1.6 billion, and I do it in every state in the United States. And I didn't do it from cold calling. So the question is, how did I grow a business, and what can I teach you that I learned along the way to change your life, like people changed mine? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So there's a myth that says it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? But I'm going to tell you that is absolutely no value, because it's not who you know, it's who you know that will be your advocate and be your ambassador. Because knowing the right people that don't care what happens to you is totally irrelevant. So what I'm here today to do is to not help you get a job. That is of no interest to me whatsoever, right? What I want to do for you today is help you get your dream job. And power networking, which is the name of my book, The Power Networking Strategy, the personal approach to landing your dream job, is what we're going to talk about. And it's something that nobody's ever written a book on and nobody ever teaches. And I would never have learned it had it not been for some key people that changed my life as we went along. One of them happens to be in my book, a lady named Sarah. And when I met Sarah as a young financial advisor, Sarah was probably 60s. She'd raised 4 kids. They used all their money to raise the kids. And when the kids graduated, she was bored. And they had no money to do anything with. They couldn't travel. They had no options. The husband was still working. But she always had an idea to start a business. And she started it with no money. And when I met her, they were doing $6 million a year in sales. And she was making over $1 million a year. And it had only been 4 or 5 years since she started it. So I said to Sarah, I have 3 degrees, economics, finance, and accounting. They never taught me in any of my degrees how to start a business with no money and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business in 4 or 5 years. So what business courses did you take that I never took that taught you all this? She said to me, and this is the building blocks to successful networking, to grow my business, and successful networking for you to land your dream job. And what she said to me is, I never took a business degree. My degree is in acting, and that's why I'm so successful. And I said, okay, I give, teach me. And she said, when you're out of your house, you're on stage, and you're always on stage. And when you bring your negativity of all the things that happen to you into your life, you're on stage and people push away from you. They don't gravitate to you. So no matter how you're feeling and what's happened to you, you've got to put that at home and go out in life with a positive attitude about the experiences that you can bring to your life and be your best, because you're on stage all the time, even when you don't realize it. And no matter how many times banks turned me down and people told me I can't do what I want to do, my acting career allowed me to not deal with my emotions that were negative, but put forth what I wanted people to see in me that made it more positive. And without acting, I'm not sure I could have done it. So I'm going to tell you right now, the first building block for people to gravitate to you, to want to be your ambassador and your advocate, is to always be your best self. You're on stage. And that's a really hard thing to feel when you're feeling a little bit anxiety driven, you're out of work, you've been out of work for a while, you're having financial stresses, which she had all that, right? But she didn't let anybody else know it. She was on stage. So I'm not going to read to you guys today at all, except for twice, because it's important. And that's it. And I apologize, but I want to get this message very clear, right? This was written by a reverend here in Plano, Texas, Swindell. And it says exactly what Sarah tried to teach me. And I want you guys and ladies to totally understand the importance of this. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on my life. Attitude to me is more important than any facts. It's more important than my past, which is what Sarah was trying to teach me. It's more important than the education, than the money, than the circumstances of success, or the failures, which we all experience, or what other people think or say about us. It's more important than appearances. It's more important than the gifts or skills that God gave us. The truth is, and she was right as rain, your attitude will make or break a company. It'll make or break a church.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, lost the sound.
I think he hit his mute button, so he's got to start all over. He left me hanging.
Wait, so that means that we're muted?
No, he's muted.
He's
No,
muted.
no, because he's still talking.
Yeah, but he muted his microphone.
Nobody's responding to us. That's what.
Oh,
Okay.
The young financial
attitude. There we go.
What's going on?
We lost you.
I'll hold off a minute. Okay.
Muted.
When when I was a young financial advisor and I was being rejected day in and day out and day in and day out, and I met with Sarah, that changed everything for me. And I stopped cold calling, right? It wasn't going to work. So what I learned to do was to join a lot of organizations, meet a lot of people, bring a lot of positive attitude, and I started building a business. And what we're going to talk about is networking, because it doesn't matter if you're networking to land a dream job or you're networking to grow your business. It's about attitude and people and skill sets. So you guys need to help me, right? So let's talk about networking. Every time I do this, and I do this all over the Metroplex, I do it on Zoom. I love to do these workshops because they don't teach this anywhere else. I can promise you that. But if I were to ask you, why wouldn't you network? What would make it awkward for you to build that network of people, to interface with people, to bring that attitude of skill sets that you want to bring, but it makes you uncomfortable, so I'm just not going to do it. I hear this all the time. So tell me, help me, why wouldn't it be comfortable for you? And everybody else will feel the same way, so don't feel bad, to network. Help me out. Who's got some ideas? Go ahead. Yeah, exactly, right? If you're fearless, you can get away with that, which I am. But if you're sensitive about those things, then you're just not going to do it, right? Because it's going to make you feel worse than you did before. And you're already trying to get over whatever anxiety you're living with. What else? I love that. Go ahead. Okay, so he said fear of rejection. So, and that's a very real fear, and I understand that. People live with that, and you're already having enough anxiety over whatever you're dealing with to not have to add that to the, to your daily life. So that's definitely a concern. What else? Aha, right? I don't even know how to approach people and know what to say to them. And he said, I don't know what I would say if I was going to try to network, right? So it's not really a natural thing to do. So I wouldn't know what to say. So we're going to get through all that today. All right, go ahead. That's interesting. Explain that to me. I do this all the time. I get something new every time I do it. So tell me.
Somebody, the fear would be that, what if I had the best speech? What would be the reaction of the person?
Okay, got it. So you're asking about how would that person react with what it is I'm trying to ask them to do, and how would I respond to their reactions? And I'm not sure how I would go about this. So I understand that completely, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Go ahead.
Paralysis by analysis.
All right, tell me more about that.
Just over analyzing everything and not being able to.
There you go. So if you're a really analytical person, which a lot of us are, right? You think about so many different scenarios of what you could do, what you can't do, what things might happen. You just rather not do anything because there's so many scenarios you can't cope with. So you just don't, right? So that's paralysis by analysis. And I love that. So I'm getting new ideas here today. So go ahead.
Just a belief that it's not an effective use.
Okay. And he said it's a belief that it's not an effective use of time. In other words, how am I going to get more out of it than I put into it so that I'm not wasting my time trying to find a job and getting nowhere, and I just wasted an hour with this person or 30 minutes and I could have been doing something else.
Says think folks are not interested or cannot relate.
I love that. So who am I going to connect with who might be interested and want to help me versus someone who's just not interested, period. So why am I going to waste their time too? Not only my time, but their time, right? So they're just not going to be interested. Go ahead.
Then you to act as a salesperson. It's always easier to network when you're not needing something. Right?
Okay.
When you're going there and you're trying to sell yourself, and you feel like you're asking for something, giving,
right?
And that's, I know what you need to do, but that's a difficult thing.
That's very true, right? I'm going there asking for something with nothing to offer. So I'm really kind of abusing or whatever my relationships or my friendships, and that's not what they're there for, right? So I'm not offering, I'm asking, and that's not an easy thing for people to do, and I understand that. I love these. Anybody else? Go ahead. Talk to me. Mm-hmm.
Networking capability, i.e. your health profile working out at a certain time, and this conflicts with that.
Okay.
Putting others before yourself, so therefore you're serving another group or another area.
Okay.
And again, the networking then falls lower and lower.
Right. So we have to set priorities of our day, and where does networking fit in, right? And does it make it worthwhile to make it a priority over something else we might be doing? So, okay. It's all brilliant ideas that I've never heard, and I've been doing this a long time. Go ahead.
So being out and
Oh, yeah.
very different.
Yeah, we've spent 5 years, working remotely by ourselves. So networking is another new experience that we haven't done. But I'm going to tell you, even when people were all working in the offices and they got laid off, they still didn't like networking, right? So working remotely is a little bit more of a challenge. But even when everybody's working together, when you get laid off, you don't feel comfortable networking, right? And it's something we have to learn as a skill.
Lost the sound again.
We lost the sound again.
In a room.
Still no sound. No sound.
So you got a locker and it's locked and there's $50 million in there and there's 20 people in the room. One of them has the key to that lock, right? So all you have to do is ask each person if they have the key, and one person that has the key will say, I've got it. And you can go open the locker and get your money, right? Now, I'm going to ask all of you, which one of you would say, I'm not going to ask those 20 people because I'm going to be rejected by 18 of them or 19 of them, right? I don't know them. I'm asking them for something that they can't give anything back, right? Maybe it's because whatever. All these reasons I heard, right? Which one of those reasons is going to keep you from asking those 20 people, do you have the key? I would ask them all. That's just me, right? Anybody else here stand up and say, I wouldn't ask them, right? Not one of you, right? But I heard all these reasons. But I'm going to tell you, there's no difference between asking 20 people if they have the key to that locker than if we meet someone and we develop that relationship and they have the key to the job you're looking for. And I will tell you, someone that can put you in a culture where you thrive and you're happy and it's a great opportunity is more valuable than just having the money. Someone you know right now has the key to open up a new career opportunity for you in a company where you'd be great. You just haven't asked them. And there's no difference. All right. So let's talk about networking and let's talk about asking. Does that make sense? So if we think about what networking is, this is the second time I'm going to read to you and last. But if we think about what networking is, as a noun, networking is a supportive system of sharing information and services among individuals and groups having a common interest. And I'm going to tell you, to the point that someone said a little while ago, you cannot network. You cannot build an advocate. You cannot build an ambassador. A common passion and interest with. If you don't have a common passion and interest, you cannot develop an advocate or ambassador. So don't waste your time. So what we're looking for are people that we have a common interest and a common passion with, a hobby or whatever it is that we both love, build that relationship, and they will want to become your advocate. That's the noun, right? A person of sharing of common interest together. The verb as networking is to cultivate the people who can help for one professionally, especially if finding employment or moving to a higher position. So first we identify them, make sure we have a common passion and interest, and then we cultivate that relationship. Now I'm going to challenge you again, because there's one subset of our society that are natural networkers. They share everything together, even as strangers, almost instantly. And as much as I've spent a career learning how to professionally network and build ambassadors and build advocates to grow my business, I will never, ever, ever be as good as this subset of our society. They're natural networkers. Anybody can guess what that might be? Go ahead. You're close. I mean, you're dead on, right? You're dead on. Hairstylists are phenomenal at it, right? Go ahead. Bartenders are really good. They're natural. They can't be a bartender if they don't like to talk and schmooze with everybody that they meet, right? Go ahead. Bingo. New mothers are the best networkers on the planet. If you're a new mother and you're in a play group or you meet somebody who's a new mother, immediately you're sharing everything, right? Pediatricians, day centers, sharing all this information. You don't really think about, do I know this person? Is it awkward? Should I ask them any questions? Should I learn from them? You don't think about that, right? They have the same passion and interest that you have immediately. It's a common bond and it's a natural network. And it works so smoothly, you don't even think about it, right? Bartenders are brilliant at this. Hairstyle people are brilliant at this. But new mothers are the best there is on the planet. They're open to everything. To network, you need to be open. Okay? So professional networking for me is about meeting people that have a common passion and interest. One of my passions is bike riding. And years ago, I was a member of the Plano Bike Association. If you don't know about this, we have 3,000 members. We meet at Coit and Spring Creek every Saturday morning, and there's 300 bike riders that show up, and we have 9 different ride groups, from beginners that ride 14 miles an hour to groups that ride 18, 20 miles an hour. And from 14 miles, they'll ride up to 60 miles they ride. And you pick what group you want to ride with. And we have professional ride leaders, and we have people that trail to make sure everybody gets where they're supposed to go. And I was a ride leader for the tweener group for many, many years. And I was a Plano Bike Association. And a friend of mine called me and he said, Jay, let's ride the MS 150 in 2 weeks. And I said, what is the MS 150? And he said, we ride 75 miles on Saturday and 65 miles on Sunday. And I said, Dale, we ride 50 miles on Saturday morning. What on earth makes you think we could ride 75 miles in a day, much less get up the next day and do 65? And it's in 2 weeks. We can't train for it. And he said, if we're riding 50 miles every single week, which we are, adding 25 more miles on just takes longer. We're in condition. We can do this. So he talked me into this. And if you know anything about these things, you have to raise money for MS to do this, or you can write the check. Well, I just wrote the check because I didn't want to go mess with that in 2 weeks. So I got my packet. The morning of the actual event, which was May 10th, I got up and I had my packet and I opened it up, and there's a shirt that comes with it, and it says MS 150, and it's got a big square thing with a number on it. They can take a picture of you if you finish and send you a picture, right? And I opened it up and there was no shirt. And I couldn't figure out if it fell out or they just didn't pack it. And I had a couple of choices. One was to turn on the light because you have to get up at 5:30. You have to be there at 6:30 because they have to check your bike, check your helmet, check your brakes, make sure you're safe because you're with 3,000 other riders. And if you're not safe, they're not safe. So you have to have everything inspected before you can go. So you have to get there by 6:30 and it's a long line and they have a lot of people checking. And then it starts at 7:30. So I could turn on the light and wake up my wife at 5:30 in the morning, which I know was not a good idea. Or I could just go in my bike drawer, grab a shirt and go, which is what I chose to do because I would have heard about it for a long time if I had woken her up at 5:30 in the morning to go bike riding. So I grabbed the shirt, I go. Everybody had an MS 150 shirt on, whatever it was, and I didn't. And we didn't have a place to meet. We'd never done it before. So I never found him. And I never found any of my friends. So the gun goes off. And I didn't really know where I was going, but I figured I can follow 3,000 people down the road. So I just went. And the first 50 miles, I'm telling you, was a breeze. It was easy. It was flat. You know, we got to a big lunch spot. They had everything ready for us. I was used to that. But there's three things I didn't know that day. One was it was going to be 105. So by the time it was noon, it was already 100, right? Number two, when you go west, you get into hills. We have no hills in this town, right? When you go west, you get into hills. So I had no training for riding up steep hills. And number three, it was a wind that day of about 18 miles an hour. So as you get farther west, you get out of the protection, you get right into the open wind, you get these hills and it's 105. And they have a rest area every 10 miles. So, you know, you can stop as long as you want, take as long as you want. You had all day to do this. And I started out, y'all know what SAG vans are? I didn't know, right? SAG vans are vans that they have set up. So if you can't make it, you can put on the side of the road and the van will pick you up, put your bike in there and take you to the end because you know that's where you're going to meet somebody that you've had, you know, meet you there at the end to pick you up, right? So they have all these people sitting on the side of the road about 55 miles in waiting for SAG vans because it's too hot, it's too windy, and it's too hilly. But I don't quit. It's just not my nature, right? And so I said, all I have to do is get to the rest area and I'll be fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, they kept moving that rest area because the closer I got, the farther they moved it. I was dying out there from the heat. And my average speed 16 to 17 miles an hour. And I'm averaging 12 or 10 trying to get up these hills and trying to fight the wind and the heat. So finally, God knows how long it took me. I got to the rest area and I spent 30, 40 minutes there, drinking a lot of water, getting a lot of fuel. And I knew I wasn't going to get to the next rest area without stopping along the way. No way was I going 10 more miles without stopping. So I stopped every 2 or 3 miles, drank a lot of water, got in the shade. I don't exactly know when it happened, but my side was cramping up. My legs were cramping up. My hands couldn't hold the handlebars anymore. And I knew if I kept going, I was going to end up in a hospital. So it was time to quit and wait for the van. And if you know me, I don't like to quit, right? I just don't. But I knew that I was past my capacity. A, I wasn't trained for it. And B, it was just past and I knew I'd end up in a hospital. So I pulled over and a cop comes by because they had a lot of policemen on motorcycles checking everything. And he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, but you know, I can't go any further. I'm done." He said, "Do you realize that you're only 5 miles from the finish line? You've gone the 70 miles. And I said, "Officer, if the finish line was across the street, I ain't getting there, right? I can't move. I can't feel my toes. My legs are all cramped up. My hands, I can't even hold onto the handlebars. I'm waiting for the van." So he said, "Okay, you need any medical assistance?" I said, "No, I just want to be left alone." So a little while later, this guy comes by on a bike and he pulls over and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting for the van." He said, "Don't you know you're only 5 miles from the finish line?" And I said, "Sir, I know it, but I ain't getting there. I'll end up in bad shape." A little while later, maybe 30 minutes, I've been sitting there and I've kind of gotten a little calmer and gotten a lot of water and feeling better anyway. And this guy that looks like a fullback on any football team, he's massive. right? Big shoulders, 280 pounds, solid. I don't know how he got that big body on that little bike that far to begin with, but he pulls over, true story, and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him, he said, I will not let you sit here. I will get in front of you. I will block the wind. You won't feel a thing. It's the last hill. I did this last year, and then it's downhill for the next 4.5 miles. You're going to get behind me, and we're going to finish this event. Get on your bike. So I said, it's going to be really slow. He said, I don't care how slow it is. We're getting there. So I said, okay. So I got behind him, and he was right. It was the last hill. We went like 3 miles an hour. I got up the hill. We're going downhill, and it's really easy about that time. So I pulled up next to him, and I said, what is your name? He said, Fred. I said, Fred, I want to thank you for what you did for me. He said, I didn't do it for you. True story. I said, what did you do it for? He said, I did it for your shirt. Now, I'm going to tell you, it was 5:30 in the morning. I don't even know what shirt I put on. I never looked at it. And I said, what does my shirt have to do with this? And he said, you're wearing a Komen cancer shirt, and my wife's a cancer survivor. And anyone who's supporting cancer is not going to sit on the side of the road, not on my watch.
It's dead again.
We can't hear, and that was the best part.
Hope I'm not boring y'all to death. I apologize. So we have these people all around us that will help you do anything in life, given the opportunity, if they have a common passion and a common interest. If they don't, then there's no value. All right. So let's talk about my career. When I started out, I developed a fairly small book of investors, and they brought a trainer in to talk to us about getting to the next level up. And I'll never forget it. There were 6 of us in the room that survived and built a small book. And he said to us, why does somebody invest with you? Is it because you can get them better returns than any other financial advisor at Merrill Lynch, Payne Weber, Smith Barney, Morgan Stanley? After 2 or 3 years in the business? I doubt it. Well, maybe it's because you're so trustworthy. Are you the only trustworthy financial advisor in all of Merrill Lynch, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley? I doubt it. Well, maybe it's because you're so charming and likable. Are you the only financial advisor in all of Merrill Lynch, Smith Barney, Payne Weber that's charming and likable? I doubt it. Why does somebody choose to invest with you? If you don't know the answer to that, you can't grow your career. And you have to have an answer for that. And we need an answer. Over somebody else, why would they choose to do? Not one of you could give me an answer, right? And I couldn't give an answer. But he said, if you can't answer that, you can't become a successful financial advisor. We need an answer. And he said to us, and this is what changed everything, and this is what I'm going to do for you today. What he said to us is, nobody will do business with you because you're likable, charming, integrity, because that's a common given in this world. Everybody who's going to be successful at anything has those attributes. Why will they do business with you? Not because they like you, but because they perceive and they know you care and like them. It's not about you, it's about them. And when we think about everything in terms of how we feel, then we don't understand how the other person needs to feel. And they become an advocate and ambassador when you put their feelings first, not yours. And what did we talk about when we came up with all these objections? How we feel. But networking is not about how we feel. Networking is about how they feel. And what do they need to know in order to be your ambassador and your advocate? They need to know you care about them, you admire them, you respect them, and they need to hear it from you as to what it is. So he said, go back to your desk, call your clients and tell them how much you love doing business with them, how incredible they are as people, and how you admire them. Because when they go to work, somebody's telling them they haven't done something. When they go home, somebody's telling them they haven't done something. Nobody's telling them how great they are. You tell them that, you own them for life. Now it's not a client, it's a relationship. And relationships are what build lifetime advocates and ambassadors. And it's not about you, it's about them. So I went back to my desk, true story, called my client who was an OB-GYN. I'd been doing with him for maybe 6 or 8 months. And I said, doctor, you're an amazing human being. He said, what do you mean? And I said, you get, and we had pagers in those days. We didn't have cell phones. So I said, you see patients all day, and I know this for sure. And then you get woken up at 2 and 3 in the morning, and you go to the hospital, you deliver your babies, and then you come back to the work. And every time I call you, you're always in a good mood. I couldn't do that, right? No way. I'd be cranky all day, but you're always in a good mood. I said, doctor, and this is what he told us to say. I didn't think of this on my own. He said, I said, doctor, if my entire book of clients was like you, I would feel like I died and went to heaven. You're amazing. He said, you really feel that way? I mean, probably no one has ever said that to him in his whole life, right? And I said, absolutely, or I wouldn't have called you. He said, can you do me a favor? And I will never forget this. I said, of course, what can I do for you? He said, my grandfather left me $2 million of bonds at Fidelity that I don't have time to watch anymore. Can I send them to you? Now, I've been doing it for 6 months. I had a couple of $100,000 of his money. He'd never shared that with me. I had no idea he had it. And as a new young startup doctor, it never would have occurred to me that he had that much money somewhere else. And then he wants me to do him a favor. It changed everything. I ended up doing business with him, with his parents. Now he's got a son. And he's an attorney. I take care of his son, 3 generations. I'm dealing in 4 generations after 4 years, grandparents, parents, kids, and grandkids that I'm taking care of because I tell people how much I love them, how much I care about them, or they're not my client. And when you do that, they want to be your ambassador. They want to be your advocate. They want to tell their friends how excited they are to do business with me, and they should do business with me too. And I have never, ever asked for a referral. I build the relationships. So professional networking is about being on stage, right? It's about not being so tied up in your own feelings that you can't work with other people. It's about building ambassadors and advocates, and it's about letting people know that you care. All right. When I was in college, I had to have straight A's. And my first semester in college, I had a B in economics, which was not acceptable. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a 5:30, 6 o'clock guy. At 10 o'clock at night, my brain shuts down. I get up every morning, 7 days a week, 5:30 to 7. I've never owned an alarm clock, and I've never overslept my whole life, right? I just get up early, and I'm ready to go. I decided in my freshman year in college, for the first time in my whole life, I would study all night and make sure I had 100 on my exam in the morning. And I've never pulled an all-nighter in my whole life. A lot of people can do that. I can't. But I did. And I stayed up till probably 3 in the morning. And I took the 7:30 class every single day because I'm up early anyway, and I like taking early classes. So I got there, and the worst thing you can see on the board was on the board, right? Teacher sick, exam postponed. And you forget everything you studied, right? You got to go back and do it again. And I only got like 3 hours sleep, right? So I was so mad. And my next class was at 8:30. It was accounting. And the second worst thing you could see on the board was that morning. And it basically said, pop quiz. And what had I not done, right? Read anything on my accounting stuff, getting prepared for the 100 on my economics. And of course, I had no idea what the questions were even meaning. And I wasn't prepared and I did a terrible job. Didn't really affect my grade because I had a solid grade in accounting, but it made me mad, right? So I finally went back to my dorm. I took a nap, went to lunch. And in those days, I don't know what it is today, but we had a long line. You got a tray and a deal, and you picked up your hamburger and your fries or whatever, and you went and sat down. The guy in front of me got the last hamburger patty. I said, you know what? How much worse can today get? And that second changed my life forever. Because for whatever reason I'll never know, the guy behind me blurted out, "This is my lucky day. I get fresh new hamburger meat." Now, we're both standing in the same place at the same time. And because of all the excuse crap that happened to me, all I can think of is how bad the day is because he got the last one. This guy probably aced his exam. I don't know. And all he can think of is how lucky he is because now he gets fresh new hamburger meat. We were standing at the same place at the same time, and life looked entirely different to two of us. And from that moment on, I swore I would never let a negative experience in my past cloud my opportunity for what's in front of me. And I never have. So attitude, not only about your feelings about things, but attitude about the opportunity that's in front of you should never be clouded by the activities of the past, ever. And that's what Sarah tried to teach me about professional growth, about networking, about building a business, about your opportunities, right? We let our past cloud our feelings about what we're looking at, all right? We can't. Attitude is everything, all right? So now what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to teach you how to build this network, how to build your advocates, and how to change this is a life skill for everything, right? Not just for getting your dream job, but it will help you get your dream job in ways you never dreamed, all right? And everything's in my book, and there's a lot more in my book that I can't cover in an hour and a half, but this is important stuff, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to take a spreadsheet, and I want you on column A, I want you to write down every person you know, gardeners, doctors, CPAs, accountants, tax people, professors, everyone you know, from 1 to 100, 1 to 50, 1 to 80, whatever it is, every person you know. Because we're going to build this network and we're going to find our advocates. And I told a young man this who was very, very frustrated looking for a job in DC. And he called me after one of these presentations and he said, "I can't find a job. And, you know, I've tried everything. I've talked to everybody." And I said, "Have you talked to your professors?" He said, "Well, no, why would I do that?" I said, "You don't know who they know. You don't know who people know." So he called this professor from his business school. He didn't know his professor only does this part-time. And he actually was an executive at a company because he never spoke about it. And they had an opening and he got him the job. And in 4 days, he had a job he'd been looking for months. So you don't know who you know. Write down everybody. Column A. Column B, what do I have in common with them? What's my common passion? Do we love art together? Did we meet at Habitat for Humanity? Do we both like the bull? Do we both like to play bridge? What do we love to do together? What's our common passion? If you can't think of anything, do never call them. They will never be your advocate or your ambassador. There's got to be something to tie it together. So someone said to me, "I don't know what to talk to them about." Well, it's so simple, right? What do we have in common? What's our common passion? It's easy to open up a discussion like that. All right. Third column, what do I admire about this person? What's so incredible about them? If you don't like them, don't call them. Not going to work. If you do like them, write down what it is you really admire about them. And when you talk to them, tell them. Because nobody else ever has. And that changes the relationship. That changes it to a relationship. They see you entirely differently in their lives when they realize you care about them and you admire them and you respect them and you tell them. Critical, right? Next one. How can I reach them? Right? We have every resource known to man today between LinkedIn, Facebook, emails, phone calls. You know, there's some way to reach these people. Somebody you know knows them. How am I going to reach them? Right? Write down, because networking, building a business is all not a happenstance thing, right? It's a process, and it's a dynamic process, and it's accountable, and it's tracking. Everything you do professionally requires these kinds of steps to be successful, right? Nothing works by accident. It works by design. And the more thought you put into it, and the more detailed you are in your approach, the more likely it is you will get something you never dreamed possible. And if you asked me in 1986 that I would ever be managing $1.6 billion with 8 financial advisors on my team when I started out cold calling 100 a day and being turned down all the time, I would have said it's impossible. So things that you never dreamed possible become possible when you learn how to professionally network. So be professional about it. How are you going to reach them, right? Next column. When am I going to reach out to them? If you've got 80 people on your list, you can't call them all the first day because you can't follow up. So you may say, well, you know, like I heard this morning, what's my priority, right? Well, my priority is I've got to go to the gym. I have to do this. I have to do this. I can call 3 people. I'll call 3 people today, right? It's all I have time for. I've got other priorities, right? Maybe I'll call 5. But you can't make it the only priority in your life, because there's other ways to try to get a job as well. Professional groups like this, coming to classes like this, you know, getting professional training for interviews, all those things come into play. This is just one more quiver in your tool set to become successful, right? So you set a priority of 3 or 4, whatever is comfortable for you. But when are you going to do this, right? I'm going to call these 3 people on Monday. I'm going to call these 2 on Tuesday. I'm not going to call anybody on Wednesday. On Thursday, I'll call 2 more, right? Don't kill yourselves, but set up a schedule. Now, you and I will always know that just because you talk to someone, you ask them for a cup of coffee or to catch up or whatever it is, they're not sitting there waiting all day long for you to call them to see if they want to catch up. They're busy too. So most of the time they're going to say, I'd love to catch up with you, or I'd love to hear from you. You know, let's spend more time together, but I got 2 projects going on. Can we wait 3 weeks? Write down exactly when they want to be called back. Because if you don't write it down, you're not going to call them back on the time they said, and you're going to miss that window of opportunity. When they tell you to call them back in 2 weeks or 3 weeks and you call them back, it gives them the message they're important to you. If they say call them back in 2 weeks, you don't call them back for 4, you sent the message you're not important to me. Even though you don't mean to say it, you do, one or the other, right? So even if they ask you 3 times, can we put it off? Can we put it off? Put it off. It's never a no. It's just, I can't do it now. You're not being rejected. You're just being offered another opportunity to be successful. Right? No does not mean rejection. No means this isn't the right person. I've got to find somebody who is. Big difference in mindset. There's no such thing as rejection. There's only opportunity. And if this isn't the right opportunity, something else is. We've got to find that opportunity, right? No such word as rejection. It's only this wasn't the right opportunity. Let's go find one. Okay? So you keep putting notes down of when to follow up when they tell you to do that, right? The last column is really the most interesting column I can give you on this whole process, especially from what I heard this morning. And we're going to talk a lot about that, but not yet. All right? That's your first section in your spreadsheet. The second section in your spreadsheet is I want you to write down all your hobbies, all your passions, the things you love to do. You're not working. So what is it I love to do? Right? Do I love to go bowling? Do I love to play bridge? Do I love mahjong? Do I like Habitat for Humanity? Do I like building houses? Do I love the arts? What is it I love to do? Right? Find places to volunteer doing what it is you love to do. And make this a priority. Because when you volunteer, who do you meet? People that love to do the same things you love to do. And where do they go? In the first section. We've got to build that network if we don't have it already. And even if we do, we can always add to it. When you go to anything, you won't know anybody. And if we're shy and introverted, it's unlikely we're going to meet anybody. We're just going to go and hang out, right? But we got to meet people. So the best way to do that is in any organization online, it says for more information about this, contact so-and-so. Call them. What do we know about them, right? They love the organization. They want to grow the organization, right? And they love helping people. Or they wouldn't put themselves out there to do that. So meet them. They have the same passion you do, the same common interest, and they like helping people. That's your best advocate. Get to know, and they'll be happy to meet with you to talk more about their organization that they love so much. Then when you come, they can introduce you to who you need to meet and nobody else. Let's make life easy. And you won't be rejected at all. You'll be accepted. Because the leader is introducing you to the right people. And they're like him or her, or he wouldn't introduce you. They want to help people. That's your second section. Find organizations you want to spend time in, volunteer your time, meet the person that's in charge of that, get to know them, build them as an advocate and ambassador, tell them how much you admire their giving up their family time, their home time for this organization. It's so exciting and you'd like to get to know them better. They will love this. It's about them, not you. Third section. Am I boring y'all to death? I apologize. No? Sometimes I feel like I am. Third section. If you're a professional, write down all the professional associations in your area. What are they? They love what it is you do. They do the same thing for a profession, and they're all working, and they know where the openings are. Meet them. Make it a priority to go to professional associations and meet people that are working that love to do what it is you do, and they know where the openings are that you would never find on your own. What do we know for sure? Somebody leaves, the first thing they do is put an email out. I'm looking for opportunity to fill this position. Does anybody know anyone? Because they would much rather get a resume from someone that works there that says this person's fantastic than go on Indeed and get 200 resumes that they don't know anybody and have to figure this out. Because they can fill it in 30 minutes instead of 3 months. So if you can meet people that are working, that know where the openings are and refer you in, the job is yours. You have to work to lose it because somebody that's in there is referring you. So join professional organizations in your career field. But again, don't go to a meeting unprepared. Find out who's in charge, meet them first. They will introduce you to the right people. The last section in your worksheet, you write down everybody you ever worked with. What did I hear today? I have connections at AT&T. I have connections at this company, connections at that company. You still have people you know that are working at other companies that you worked with. Write them all down, right? If you didn't work well with them and they hated you and you hated them, I wouldn't spend any time with them, right? But if you had a great working relationship, they need to know you're unemployed and looking. Because you don't know who they know. Not just at that company. Their brother could be, a brother-in-law or brother or uncle or aunt or best friend could be another company that fits you perfectly. But they know you, they've worked with you, and they can attest for you. Contact everybody you ever worked with. And I don't care if they lived here for 10 years and now they live in Virginia. Call them. Let them know you're looking. You don't know who they know. Trust me. You'll uncover stones you never dreamed possible. So write them all down and get in touch with everybody you ever worked with. So what do we put on every resume known to man, right? I work well in teams. Anybody not put that on their resume because they don't want anybody to know they work well in teams, right? We all put that down there, right? But I'll argue that you want to get a job by yourself. But I work well in teams, but not when I'm getting a job. I do it by myself. What is networking? It's building a team. And if you work well in teams and you say you do, then build the team out. Well, I'm asking somebody to do something for me. I can't do anything for them. How do you know? You build this relationship and this friendship and you do it right. 6 months from now, they may call you saying, hey, I got laid off. Do you know anyone? These are lifelong friendships you're building. People in common, people in passion, people you have same interest in, people you really care about. This is not a one-trick pony deal. These are relationships you're building that you never have built before, that are standing you right in the face, that are lifelong. Where did we learn? Where did we learn? We have to do this by ourselves. I thought a lot about that, right? Where did we learn? This is our responsibility, right? And I thought about it and I asked you the question, what did they tell you when you took an exam? If the person next to you is helping you, you're cheating, right? If you ask the person next to you for help during an exam, you're cheating. We learned all through school, we have to study on our own, pass on our own, succeed on our own, and we can't get help from anybody. When we get in the real world, you can't do it on your own. Everything works in teams. Everybody collaborates. Everybody gets a better product working together. We all have different skill sets, different abilities, different perspectives. But in school, oh, no. You can't get any help. You got to do it all on your own. So we've been conditioned from age first grade all the way through. We got to do it ourselves. But that's ridiculous. If they would let us in school work together to pass an exam, we'd all get better grades and we'd all learn from each other and we'd all become better students. But they won't let you do that. It's ridiculous. Because when you get in the real world, It's all about teamwork. But we've been so conditioned to do it on our own, we feel like we have to, or we're letting ourselves down. And excuse my French, but that's ridiculous. I didn't say the word I want to say. All right. So, in perspective, right? We work in teams. We build in teams. We have a better product in teams. So you definitely want to build a teamwork. So let's go back to the first question I asked you, right? What would keep you now from wanting to network? Anything? Go ahead. Say it again. Exactly, right? It's in ourselves that we hold ourselves back from networking, and it's not about us. It's about them. So it's awkward to have a conversation with someone if you make it all about yourself. So let's talk about the last column, right? Which I said that was most important. What did I hear today that I didn't like hearing? And let's change the narrative. A lot. When I started building my business, these trainers came in and said, you have to ask for referrals. People have to know that you want to grow your business or they won't send you referrals. And how do you ask for referrals? Well, you tell them that I've got 3 openings this year for new clients. If you know anyone, I would love to talk to them. Or, I know you play golf. Can you give me the name of your 3 golfing buddies? I'd love to talk to them. Well, I can promise you, nobody wants to give you the name of their 3 golfing buddies so you can go harass them, right? I'll talk to them, and if they're interested, I'll let you know. And they never talk to them. And nobody gets up in the morning to say, how can I help Jay Arbetter grow 3 more clients this year to help his business, right? They come to me because they want me to help them. They don't come to me to help me, right? So how do I ask for referrals and get people to want to help me, right, when they have no desire to? So what I heard today was this is my target company, right? So you're sitting down with someone, you've had a great conversation, I'm unemployed. Do you know anybody at my 3 target companies because I'm looking for a position? You haven't offered them anything now. You've asked them to help you get a job, which they don't have any desire to get up in the morning to do. So how do you ask for referrals? How do you ask for that job? How do you go to that target company when you're not really doing what it is you think you're doing? So what do they want, right? What does a client want from me, right? I offer a financial plan. Every client I have has a financial plan. And what do I ask them, right? I ask them about their family, their kids, their income, their 401ks, their life insurance, everything there is to do. When I get through, I know everything about them. They don't know anything about me. They don't know if I have 3 kids, 2 kids, or 1 kid. They don't know if they're in college or not. And personally, they don't care, right? They didn't get up in the morning and say, I'd love to know more about Jay Arbetter's family. What they want to know is how can Jay Arbetter help me with my family, right? So when you say this is my target company, you close the door on the relationship right then and there. Everything stops. So let's change the narrative, right? When I go ask a client for a referral, I offer something. I don't ask for something, I offer something, right? And what do I say to them? Jim, we have a great relationship. You're an incredible human being, right? I love doing business with you. It's phenomenal. We have a great time together. If there's anyone that you care about that's special to you, that you want me to help, I'm more than happy to help them like I'm helping you. I'm offering my service to help. I'm not asking them to send me anybody. I'm offering a service to help. If there's somebody you care about that you want me to talk to. Now he's thinking, who do I know? Right? you know, my aunt's been complaining about her financial advisor and I never even thought about it. Maybe I should send her to Jay. Right? And every client I have knows that I'm more than happy to help any of their friends or family that they care about. And I get calls all the time, and I've never asked for a referral. When you sit down with someone, this last column is the companies you really want to target. But your narrative is very different. And your narrative is, I'm not working right now, but I work phenomenal with teams, right? And the places, and I've done the homework and I've done the research, there's a few companies that I know that's a perfect fit for me and I can add value to what it is they're trying to do. And they're looking for someone, right? And I've looked at it and I've looked at the culture, I've looked at everything, and it's a perfect fit where I can add value. If you know someone in that company, right, I can help them fit that role and solve their problem for them. You know anybody at XYZ company I can talk to? Because it's a perfect fit and I can add value to them. Now you're offering a service. And what do you have, right? You have skills, professionalism, maturity, kindness, character, everything that you can add to a company given the right opportunity. I think Phil said, or Walt said, you know, we're in sales, right? We're selling ourselves. We're not asking someone for a target company, right? We're offering our services to a company that we know we can add value and fix and solve their problem. And if you know someone in that company, I would love to meet them because it's a perfect fit and I know that I can solve their problem. You're not asking for them to be a target company. That doesn't work. All right. Now, everybody have an elevator speech? Right? What are elevator speeches about? Me. What do we not want to do? Put all the focus on me. I don't like elevator speeches. Right? Elevator speeches are not going to get you to the finish line the way you want them to. Right? You change the elevator speech from this is what I do and this is what I've done and this is what I am, right? My elevator speech is this is what I can offer. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can offer. And these are the type of companies that I can offer it to that are perfect. And I can help them grow. And I can work great with their team. And I'm a great leader. I'm a great manager. I build out teams. Whatever it is you're capable of doing, that's what you can offer. Not what you do. Now, when do you use an elevator speech? If we're going to a professional association and everybody does what it is we do, right? That's the association. You can talk about your professional skills because that's what they can identify with. But if you're a chip manufacturer and you're building an advocate relationship with the CPA, he knows nothing about building chips. So why discuss it, right? Why talk about the fact that I've got 5 years of nanotechnology and engineering and he doesn't understand what you're talking about? My daughter tells me, Dad, I've got a new job. This is what I'm going to do. And she explains to me, I have no idea what she does. I was lost from the beginning. They're in whole new fields I never heard of, right? Who do you work for? I work for Google. Great, right? That's all I got out of the whole conversation. So a CPA doesn't know what it is you do. Why expand on it? This is what I have to offer, right? I can help an engineering company grow their product line, become more efficient, right? This is what I specialize at. Do you know anybody at these companies? That's all. I can help them. If you're talking to a chip designer, right, in a chip designing association, and they're all engineers, this is what my capabilities are. They understand that. Then you can use it. But if you're talking to a CPA about what it is you do and you're a chip designer, he's lost. Can't help you at all. But these are the companies that I know I can help. Do you know anybody at these companies? Because if you can, I can talk to them, and I know that they'll appreciate you sending me in. Self-confidence. Critical in professional networking. Attitude. Be your best. These are the things that I had to learn to grow a business, because I didn't know them when I was 33 years old, starting out as a financial advisor. I promise you. Had a lot of people and a lot of life experiences teach me stuff that we needed to learn. They don't teach that in school. And there's no books on it, so I've written the only book I know of its kind called The Power Networking Strategy. You can buy it on Amazon. It's $12, $13. I made it as cheap as I could. So I do these workshops all over the Metroplex. If you're a member of any organizations that you feel like could use my expertise, I'm more than happy, and I have the time to do it, to speak to any organization in the community or anybody you have an organizational relationship with that I can do a Zoom with. I'm happy to do that too. And you can all find me on LinkedIn, and I hope you do. I'll link up with everybody. My name is Jay, J-A-Y, last name Arbetter, A-R-B-E-T-T-E-R. I've got 7 financial advisors and 8 full-time support staff, so I can make my own time to do what I want to do. And this is a passion for me. Why? I was out of work, right? I didn't have a job. I didn't have a career. And a friend of mine said, you ought to be a financial advisor. So I don't want to be well, we were stockbrokers then, right? I don't want to be a stockbroker. Well, you should be, right? So how much more time do I have?
5-10 minutes.
All right. So I did one of these things at a Catholic church, and a lady stood up and said, I've listened to every word you said, but the truth is I don't know what I want to do. I've always worked for a paycheck, right? And now I have the opportunity to change careers, but I don't have any idea what I should be doing or what I want to do. How do I bridge that gap, right? And I said to her, because this happened to me, I said, ask your friends what it is you should be doing, because they know you. And what you think you internalize as what everybody feels is special to you, but you don't know it, and your friends do. And I said, the reason I know that is number one, I didn't want to be a stockbroker at all. And my friends kept telling me, you ought to be a stockbroker at Merrill Lynch. I can get you a job. And I said, I don't want a job at Merrill Lynch. I don't want to be a stockbroker. I'm an accountant. And I don't want to be a stockbroker. I want to go back to accounting. You're a lousy accountant. You'd be a great stockbroker. You ought to be a stockbroker. So I went in for the interview, got the job, my life changed. Your friends know you better than you realize. And how do I know that? Because when you're dating the wrong person, everyone knows it but you. Right? They know you. And they know what's right for you, and they know what's wrong for you. So if you don't know exactly what you should be doing, ask your friends that really care about you, that love you, and they'll tell you, my God, you should be doing this. So I did this at a Catholic church, and a lady stood up and I told her that. And she said, I don't have to ask my friends, you just rang the bell. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, my real passion is I'm a germaphobe. And everywhere I go, the first thing I look for is all the different things that shouldn't be out of place, that aren't clean, the drain board isn't clean, the floor isn't clean, and I start harping on it because I'm a germaphobe. I don't know how to turn that exactly into a business, but I would love to figure that out. So I said, I don't know, but why don't you go to a clinic, because in all these surgery clinics, people get more sick in there than they do when they're home. Maybe if you offered to audit it for free and find all the things that are getting everybody sick, maybe they'll pay you the next time to come in and clean things up. And if you can get 10 clinics that are paying you $500 a month to audit them once a month, you can make $5,000 a month doing that, and you can go audit and turn it in. So she said, okay, I'll try that. 20 clinics later, she's making $10,000 a month, which is more than she made before doing what she really loves to do. And she's got all these clinics. And I got an email from her saying, I've never been happier in my whole life. And I own my own business. So Sarah started a business with nothing at 66 years old. I want to talk about Phyllis. I need 10 more minutes.
Okay, that's max.
All right, all right, all
You
right.
gotta be done at 9:30, I mean,
9
9:30.
Okay, so I gotta tell you about Phyllis. Phyllis, a client of mine. Phyllis had 9 daughters by birth, or 7 daughters by birth. And she had no money because her husband was a modest earner, and she could never go to a mall to buy anything for gifts. So she went to gift shops at hotels to buy a $2 pencil and a $3 little thing for Christmas and holidays and whatever the kids needed. She would buy little things at gift shops. And so as they got on, and she turned out to be, and this is a true story, she went to the gift shop at the Holiday Inn at North Haven, at Royal and Central, which isn't there anymore, but we're talking about 25 years ago. And the owner said to her, Phyllis, you come in here all the time. I know you really well. I want to retire. I want to sell you my gift shop. She said, I don't have any money. He said, I don't need any money. You give me $10,000 down and just pay me out of the revenue over the next 5 years. And I'll be fine. And I make like 45, 50,000 a year, and you can pay me 5,000 a year and keep the rest for the next, 5 years. So she went home and told her husband, and he said, we don't have the $10,000. We can borrow it from our life insurance policy. If this is what you really want to do, we can try this. That was on a Friday. On Sunday, he had a heart attack and died. And the insurance policy buried him. There was no money down. So she went back to the store owner and said, I'm really sorry, but I can't give you the $10,000 down. My husband passed away 3 weeks ago. And he said, I don't really care. I want out of here. And I know you can do this. You know everything about my store. And I want to sell it to you. And she was like 67. Well, Phyllis didn't know something about herself. Phyllis loved people. And if you met her, she remembered you. If you told her who your wife was, your kids, your grandkids were, the next time she saw you, how are your grandkids? How's your wife? How's this? Is your wife still in the wheelchair? Is she still in the hospital? She remembered everything you told her. So when she went into that gift shop and people started buying, she got to know them. The other owner just sold them a trinket. She spent time with them. The occupancy rate for the Holiday went from 81% to 98%. Everybody came back to that Holiday Inn to come in and talk to Phyllis. And they would bring her pictures of the kids and the grandkids, and they would buy more from her than they ever bought from him. And sales went from $140,000 a year to $300,000 a year. And Phyllis went from making $50,000 a year to $150,000 a year, which is more money than her husband ever made his whole life. Her accountant called me and said, Jay, I've got a lady I really want you to meet. She's coming into some money and she doesn't know anything about business. She's never run anything her whole life. She needs a financial advisor. I'm showing her how to write checks, how to open an account. She has extra money. Not too long later, the Holiday Inn at the Quorum, which is much bigger, called her and said, we heard what you're doing with that gift shop. Will you run our gift shop? And she said, no, I will buy it from you, but I won't run it. And they said, well, we own it. We don't sell it. She goes, I'm not interested. And they said, what are your terms? So she gave them the terms, a percentage of the overage, a percentage of sales, whatever it is, as it grew. She brought her daughter in who was just like her. They ran both gift shops, doubled in sales. And eventually Phyllis owned 4 gift shops doing $2.7 million a year with her daughters running them. At 71 years old or 72, Phyllis called me and said, my favorite opera singer is going to be in New York. Do I have enough money to fly to New York and watch him sing opera? I said, Phyllis, you're 75? You're making $1 million a year and you're asking me that question? Well, I don't know. I said, I want you to buy first class tickets. I want you to buy the VIP tickets. Oh, no, I can't afford that. No, that's too expensive. I said, Phyllis, buy them and go. Have dinner with the opera singer. And she did. Highlight of her life. 6 months later, she called me. I needed a lawyer. I figured somebody's suing her for something. I said, what do you need a lawyer for? She goes, I got to sign a prenup. I'm getting married. I said, really? To who? She goes, well, I didn't tell you, but But when I was sitting at the table at the VIP thing, there was an old gentleman from Cincinnati who was a widower, and he loves opera too. So he came and we built up a relationship. And we've been talking online, and he asked me to get married. So I'm flying to Cincinnati and I'm getting married to him. And I need a prenup. I said, do your daughters know about this? She goes, it's none of their business. I'm doing it. So at 77 or 78 years old, she flew to Cincinnati, met him the second time, got married, brought him to Dallas, and they traveled to China and Europe, and she had a wonderful life while the kids ran the business. And eventually they sold all the gift shops when she finally passed away. It's incredible what you can do. You don't even know you can do. So never give up. That's all I can tell you. I have clients that have stories that are unbelievable. I'm going to finish up with this last story. These two guys are cutting down a tree, and this guy's got an axe, and he's cut down his first tree, and he's cut down his second tree, and the guy next to him is still chopping away at the first tree. So he turns to Harry, and he says, Harry, you ought to go sharpen your axe. And he said, I'm too busy cutting down this tree to go sharpen my axe. Right? We get so busy sometimes doing things that we're doing that we forget to get better and more efficient at what it is we're doing. You guys took the time out of your day to come try to sharpen your axe. And if I did that for you on just one idea, then I will have accomplished what it is I'm trying to achieve. And I really appreciate your time, and I hope that I sharpened your axe. Thank you so much for your time. You're so kind. Questions, either online or from the chat room or whatever.
Yeah, if anybody has a question, please.
Anything?
Question here.
All right, please contact, go ahead.
Best time to build up this relationship would be when we are working. Is that the truth?
No. You don't have to be working to call somebody and have a cup of coffee with them. Absolutely not.
Is that a good thing to start building this relation when we are working?
Oh, you're asking the question. It's lifetime. Whatever you're doing, you're building relationships. You're meeting people. You're talking to them. You're putting them on your list. You're telling them how much you appreciate them and care about them. You're building friendships. You're building relationships with advocates. And you can help them along the way and they can help you, but you're building all the time. I'm always developing friendships. Always. It's a lifelong skill about everything. Good question. I appreciate that. Any other questions, everybody?
Anybody else?
Go ahead.
Just a great presentation.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know, and really, in many ways, I mean, it's very powerful because it highlights what we have always said about also interviewing, which is, you know, stories actually, you know, they're powerful. They do send a message and let people learn from it. So
appreciate that.
You know, it's very good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You guys have been fantastic. I love doing this. If there's anything that you feel like I can add value to, that's what I'm here for. I hope you all connect up with me on LinkedIn. Tell me your stories, tell me your successes, and let's stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very, very much. All right, you'll be able to.
And it's 9:30.
Yeah. You'll be able to download this video. This is the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist, and then down at the very bottom where it says view full playlist, click there. If you click on the video, it'll start playing the video, and you probably don't want to do that. Let's see here. When you click on view full playlist, up will come a list of the dates in chronological order. You can go back and watch any of the videos you want. Next week, Career DFW and Career USA putting on training. Ruth Lipsky will be with us for LinkedIn Tuesday, 1 o'clock. She's a career coach. She works at Lee Heck Harrison. She'll be talking about LinkedIn tools for job seekers. Wednesday, the practice interview team will be meeting right here in person. And then next Friday, Matt Keelan will be back with us talking about tech tips and tricks for job seekers. So you can join us then. I also want to point out, and let me give you something else I want to show you. I've got something brand new on the Career USA YouTube channel that I just started. If you click on resources and go to career files and scroll down to section 8, artificial intelligence. What is it? Where can I get free AI training? And the third section is AI, artificial intelligence for job seekers. This is where I need your help. If you're using AI for something, write it up, send it to me, and I will start building different programs on here. Currently, I only have, let's see here, I've just got one thing, Star Stories, that was presented here a couple weeks ago. So there'll be a whole list of things, as long as you give a good job title and you tell us what the prompt is, tell it what it does. And I'll put in your name, your LinkedIn address, so if people want to more reach out to you, you can. But this just happens to be a new section I, came up with this week, or started getting going. So just want to let you know about that.
Excuse me, I have a little blurb about that. I discovered recently when I was up at Denver about Goodwill has digital career accelerator program with IBM and Google. So I took the introductory 8-hour course for that, and now I'm meeting with them next week for my career certificate, which could be in cybersecurity, AI, all sorts of things, including project.
Okay, good. Let's see here. Coming up next week, Matt will be with us, talk about tech tips and tricks for job seekers. In 2 weeks, how to network like a pro. And I can't see what I'm looking at here. PJ Dunna with us. He's an excellent speaker. You'll enjoy him. He usually comes and talk about core competencies after talking about strength finders. Today for lunch, we're going to go to Mama's Pizza in 10 or 15 minutes. How many people think they're going to join us, so we know how big a table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 8 to 10. Whoever gets there first, grab us a table. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see everybody next week.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Thanks.
Let me stop my recording.